Hi everyone, here we are going to see about the concepts of data structures using C++. What is meant by data structures? A data structure is a particular way of data, that is particular way of organizing a data in a computer. This data structure is divided into two categories. One is linear data structures and non-linear data structures. The stack, the queues, and arrays, linked list are come under the categories of the linear data structures. And what are all come inside the non-linear data structures? There are two types of non-linear data structures. One is graph and another one is trees. Here in this lecture, we are going to see about what are all the graphical methods, that is graph traversal, and what are all the searching techniques and what are all the sorting techniques. So starting the graph, a graph is a non-linear data structure. That was, as we said already, it is a non-linear data structure. A graph can be defined as a collection of nodes which are also called as the vertices and edges. The edges are used to connect two or more vertices. It consists of two components, that is a finite set of vertices which is called nodes and a finite set of pair of vertices which forms the edge. This edges divided by using these vertices and edges, the graphs are divided into two categories. One is undirected graph and another one is directed graph. Here is an example of the that is two types of graph. Here in undirected graph, it is consists of 5 vertices 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. The edges which are used to connect the vertices are called, that is the edges. In the directed graph, the same graph is depicted below. Here, by using the arrow mark, we said it is a directed graph. That is, the 0 is connected to the 1 and the 1 is connected to the 2, 2 is connected to 3, 3 is connected to 4 and 4 is connected again to 0 as well as to the 1. Next, how the graphs are representing. The two most commonly used representation of a graphs are adjacency matrix and by using the adjacency list. There are other representations are also used like indecence matrix and indecence list. But here we are going to see only about how the graph is represented by using the adjacency matrix and adjacency list. Adjacency matrix is a 2D array of a matrix which is the size of 2, that is V into that V cross V matrix. That the 2 array be a adjacent of I and j, which implies 1, which indicates there is an edge from the vertex I to the vertex j. Adjacency matrix for undirected graph is always symmetric. That is, adjacency matrix is also used to represent the weighted graph. This is the way of representing how the graph is represented by using the adjacency matrix. If there is the way from 0 vertex to the 0 vertex, it implies 1, otherwise it implies 0. In our first row, the 0 and the value for the 1 and 4 is depicted as 1, which means there is a connection between the vertex 0 and 1 and 0 and 4. Similarly for the other vertexes. Finally, we have an efficiency of this is order of 1. Next, by using the adjacency list, an array of list is used. The size of the array is equal to the number of vertices. Here an entry of array of I represents the list of vertex adjacent to the ith vertex. This representation can also be used for the weighted graphs as a weighted pairs. Here is an example of the adjacency list. That is, the 0th node is connected to the first node and the 4th node. Here, node represents the vertex of a graph. Similarly, the 1 is connected to the 0 and connected to the 4 as well as 2 and 3. And from the 2, There is a connection between 1 and 3, and from the 3, 1, 4 and 2, and from the 4, 3, 0 and 1. Finally, the second part, that is in list, that is adjacency list. There are two parts, one is the data part and another one is the address part. Here the address part, the last node of the list represents the null value. Next topic is graph traversal. So what is meant by graph traversal? Which means visiting every vertex and every edges exactly once in a graph. While using a certain graphical algorithms, we must ensure that each vertex of the graph is visited exactly once. Here, there are two common methods for using the graph traversal. One is breadth first search, that is BFS, and second one is depth first search, that is called DFS. First method is the breadth first search method. So it is most commonly used method for graph traveling the traversal in the graph, and this is an algorithm where we should start traversing from a selected node, that is the source node, and traverse the graph as a layer wise, which exploring the neighbors node. We must move then towards to the next level of the neighbors node, that is first move horizontally and visit all the nodes of the first layer and move to the next layer. Here is an example of the breadth first search method. The layer 0 has the source node, and the layer 1, comparing to the distance between the layer 2 and layer 1, layer 1 distance between the nodes are lesser than the layer 2 nodes distance. So our traversal is starting from the root node, that is a source node 0 in the layer 0, move to the layer 1, from the first node to second node to third node, and from the third node to it move on to the fourth node in the layer 2, and from the 4, 5, 6, and finally we reach the destination as the 7. This is what the breadth first traversal method. Next one is depth first search method. The depth first search algorithm is a recursive algorithm that uses the idea of backtracking. It involves the exhaustive searches of all the nodes by going ahead, if possible, else by backtracking. What is meant by backtracking? Backtracking means when we are moving forward and there are no more nodes along in the current path, so we cannot go back on the same path to find the nodes to traverse. All the nodes will be visited on the current path till all the unvisited nodes have been traversed, after which the next path will be selected. This recursive nature of the DFS can be implemented by using the graph. So what is the basic idea behind this that is depth first search algorithm? Pick our starting node and push all its adjacent node into the stack. So pop up the node from the stack to select the next node to visit and push all its adjacent node again into the stack. Repeat this process until the stack is empty. We already know about the stack, which is it is a last in first out data structures. So this will prevent from visiting the same node more than once. If you do not mark the nodes then visited and the same node more than once, you may end up in a recursion. So this is an example of the depth first search method. Here our source node is 1. So from the 1, its adjacency node, next node, that is 2. Second, that is in the next node is 2. The 2 is pushed into the stack, and from the 2 it travels to the 4, because there is a no way to the 3, so we passed to the 4 and the 4 is pushed into the stack. Again we go back to the 2. Here 2 is already in the stack, so from it cannot be pushed into the stack again, so directly we move on to the next node as 5. Again it go back to the node 2 and node 1. After that only we visiting the node 3. So finally we get the pair, that is root as 1, 2, 4, 5 and 3. The time complexity is order of V plus E, that is vertex and edges. The next set techniques is the sorting techniques. So till now we are seen about the searching methods, and now we will move on to the next topic as sorting techniques. First, what is meant by sorting? Sorting is a process of ordering or placing a list of elements from a collections in some kind of order. Here, order is referred to as either in ascending order or descending order. It arranges the data in a sequence way which makes the searching easier. So, sorting techniques depends on the two parameters. One is execution time of the program, and another one is the space taken by the program. So we are going to see about four types of sorting methods based on their efficiency and requirements. First one is the bubble sort, second one is the insertion sort, third one is the selection sort, and fourth one is the quick sort method. So here is an example of the bubble sort. So bubble sort is arranging a number of items in a any way. That is either in an ascending order or a descending order. Here by using the bubble sort, the first element 40 is compared with the next element 10. Since the 40 is greater than 10, we swap the two values 10 and 40. Now the first portion is 10 and second portion is 40. At the second iteration, the 40 is compared to the 20. Here 20 is less than 40. So again we swapping the two elements. Now the second portion is 20 and third portion is the 40. Now the 40 is compared with the 30. Since 30 is less than 40, again we swap into 30 and 40. Now the third portion is 30 and the fourth portion is 40. Now 40 is compared to 50. Since 40 is less than 50, there is no need for the swapping. Finally, we get an ascending order sorted array as 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. So this is the method of the bubble sort. Next one is this. So here, as we said, this is an example. Here it takes the time of order of n square, that is the method here. Next one is insertion sort. Insertion sort is a simple sorting algorithm. This means it sorts the array by shifting the elements one by one. Insertion sort has the one simplest implementation. Its efficiency for smaller data, but it's insufficient for the larger data. It has the less space complexity like the bubble sort, but it requires single additional memory space because it is a table. So this is an example of an insertion sort. Now our comparing element, that is 40. 40 is compared with the 10 and the 40 is compared with the 9. So 9 will be coming to the first position and 20 again comparing with the 20. So it comes to the third position, and the 30 it comes to the fourth position. Finally we getting a sorted array of 9, 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. It always starts with the second element as the key, the insertion sort. Comparing with the bubble sort, we started with the first element. Here we started with the second element as the key element, and 40 has nothing before it. So this is the way of insertion sorting method. And next one is selection sort. So selection sort is the simplest sorting algorithm which finds the smallest elements in the array and exchange with the element in the first position. So as continuous our sorting techniques, quick sort is also known as a partition exchange sort based on the rules of the method divide and conquer method. So divide and conquer method is the highly efficient sorting algorithm, which means it is quickest comparison based sorting algorithm, and it is very fast and requires less additional space, and it picks the element as a pivot element. So how can we take the pivot element is there are four ways to take a pivot elements, that is first element of an array as a pivot, otherwise last element of an array as a pivot element, and random of any element in the array can taken as a pivot element, and the median value is taken as the pivot element. Here in our example, that is this is the algorithm for the quicksort method. First, choose the highest index value as the pivot value, and second step is take the two variables to point left and right of the list excluding the pivot value. We cannot include a pivot value as a comparison. The left points to the low index and the right points to the high index value. While the value at the left is less than the pivot, move it to the right. Suppose if the value at the right is greater than, then it moves to the pivot left, moves left to the pivot value. If both the step 5 and step 6 doesn't match, swapping the value. If the left is equal, that is less than or equal to the right, the point where the new taken as a next value as the pivot value. Here our unsorted array is taken, and now the pivot value is 32. Now we divide that two. One is the left, 36, 34, 43, 11, 15 is the left, and 20, 28, 45, 27 as a right. Now we comparing the first element 36 with the pivot value and the last element 27 with the pivot value. Since 36 is greater than 32 and 27 is less than 32, just we exchange the 36 and 27. Next, the next element, that is from the left side the second element 34 and from the right side the second element 45 is compared with the pivot value 32. 34 is less greater than the 32 and 34 is less than 32 and 45 is greater than 32. Just be swapping these two values 34 and 45. Next, again take the 34 and the 28 with the pivot value 32. Now the same process is repeated again and again. Finally, we got the value as 27, 28, 20, 11, 15, 32, 34, 45, 36 and 43. It represents how to find the pivot value in an array. This it divides the two partition, that is the first partition is the element with all as a less than the pivot value, and the second half is refers as the greater than the pivot value. After that, the same method will be continued till the last array will be sorted finally. The next set techniques are searching techniques. So sorting is arranging a data in some manner, and what is meant by searching is it is a technique that helps to find the place of a given element or value in the list. Any search is said to be successful or unsuccessful depending on whether the element is being searched is found or not. There are two types of searchings out there. One is linear search and another one is binary search. The linear search is otherwise called as sequential search algorithm. So our first method is the linear search. In this techniques, the element is to be found in a searching element sequentially in the list. It can be only in a sorted arrays, and in case of sorted list of searching, starting from the zeroth elements and continues our searching until we found the element in the list. So this is an example of the linear search. Our searching element is 20. So starting from the first element 10 and move on to the next element 50. The 20 is compared with the 50. If it is not, move to the next. Whenever we find the search, we stop our searching there. Next one, binary search method. So binary search is the most popular searching algorithm. It is commonly used with techniques to solve the many problems for sorting a set of elements. To use the binary search on a collection, it must be sorted first. So how can we search the binary? In this method, the searching elements can be compared with the present element at the center of the list. If it is matches, then the search is successful. Otherwise, the list is divided into two halves. One from the zeroth element to the middle element, which is the center element, and another from center element to the last element, which is the second half. The searching mechanisms proceeds from either of the two halves depending upon whether the target element is greater or smaller or central element. If the element is smaller, then the first half is done in the searching, otherwise the searching is done in the second half. So this is an example of the binary search method. Here our searching element is 23. So default it will move on to the second half, because the yum value, that is middle value, here is considered as 16. The searching element 23 is greater than 16, so we go for to the second half. So from the second half, the middle element is 56. The 56 is compared with the 23. So 23 is less than 56. So from the left element, that is 23, second half 23 to 38, that is less than the middle value. The first element is compared, that is 23 is compared, it is equal. So if we search the binary, we search the element in a searching method. So this is different techniques we have seen: researching techniques, sorting techniques, and how the graphs are traversal. Thank you for watching this.